Welcome to a very crowded all-new Marvel Roundup, this Southgate Media Group's guide to the Marvel Comics of the week. As always, I am Phil. Charlie is here.
Yes, I am.
And we have a special guest, Charlie's arch nemesis, Miss DC herself, Lil Hellfire.
Professor Essa, we meet again.
Yes, we do, Lilith. And today you go down.
I mean, with all these books, if you put them on my back, you just might break it.
Yeah, we got a lot of books. Well, Marvel makes a lot of really good books, so you have to buy them all because they're all wonderful and exciting.
A lot? Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta buy them all, man. Every single one. Gotta be a completist, like you were saying.
Okay, well, you two chew the scenery. I guess I'll start with All New Wolverine 16. I don't know, like I was telling Lilith before, I think this is one of the ones on the chopping block for me, but I don't know, this one is interesting. Like X-23's old handler has her and basically trying to re-brainwash her, Weapon X style with the headgear and the tank and all the funky stuff, because she wants to take over Madripoor. But I don't know, Laura's clone / sister is trying, she frees herself and I'm guessing is coming to help. It almost looks like she runs away. But, yeah, so basically, the all-new Wolverine gets brainwashed and she's sent to take down, who's that, Tiger? Yeah. But just as she's, about to kill her, who shows up at the end? We can't have the old Wolverine, so Gambit.
Oh, man, Logan.
No, Gambit.
Oh, Gambit. Oh, he's no fun.
Why? He makes light up things and speaks in French. How's that not fun?
Yeah, he speaks in Creole, not French.
Schooled, son.
Yeah, and he makes a cameo in Great Lakes Avengers this week, so we'll get back to that.
We're pushing Gambit.
Uh-oh. Is there a movie or something coming up? But, that was good. It's a thumbs up. So, who's next?
Okay. Oh, that was fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got too many books. We can't be lingering too long. Too many hosts and too many books. We can't be lingering long.
Okay, Lilith, you go next. What was one of your two on your own?
I'll talk about Full Killer, I guess. So the reason why I picked Full Killer number 3 was because he was once affiliated with Mercs for Money. So obviously I'm a huge Deadpool fan, so that works for me. It's goofy, it's silly, it's very Marvel's cheesy 80s, which I love. It was one of my favorite eras. It's kind of meta too, kind of like Deadpool, so that's why I enjoy it. It's very fast paced as well. I enjoy that aspect of it. It's got sometimes it has a little bit too much of a serious tone, but I think they find a balance for everything. And Full Killer's just it's like 4 different versions of this character, so they can just have fun and poke fun and break the fourth wall, and they've just been doing a good job. Like, this is it's at number 3, so I just decided to get all 3 and catch up, and I liked all 3 of them, and it's definitely a thumbs up for me. So if you like
sweet.
Deadpool, you'll probably like Full Killer.
That's interesting to know. So I'm going to go with my book, my free book, because I paid for Thor, and you don't get Thor digitally anymore when you buy it. Instead, you get a randomized book, which was Grounded, Guardians of the Galaxy number 16, this very special Groot episode, where we learn that it's not nearly as easy to write like Dr. Seuss as you think. And they're basically trying to... It's a very sweet book. It's very indicative of the kind of the child, not really kid-friendly, but sort of kid-like friendly books of Rocket and Groot that were out recently. And it's written in sort of a Dr. Seuss style, except, they don't really get the meter right or the rhyme scheme. It's fun. Basically, since they've been grounded, Groot has sort of put down roots, literally and figuratively, in Central Park with Rocket, and this is like one of these things that's kind of weird about Groot that you kind of wish someone would explain. You see, Groot, when they first brought him back, he was like supposed to be a kind of a Doctor Doom kind of character, sort of a very, just a big tree monster who like talked about his diabolical plans for conquering the universe. And then they changed him so that all he could say was, "I am Groot." Which, of course, Maximus the Mad understood immediately. But since, of course, the movie, they've kind of, much like everyone else from the movie, they've kind of altered his character, and now he's much more gentle and heroic and childlike. But we see the armadillo, everyone's favorite superpowered punching bag, trying to rob a bank, and Groot decides he has to stop him. And, of course, he does. But the cops don't know who they want to shoot, Groot or Armadillo, because, hey, they're all monsters. But a little boy tells them, don't shoot him. And then all the other people who had seen what was going on said, no, don't shoot Groot. He's awesome. Now, granted, Groot's a tree, so bullets aren't really going to do much to him anyway. So they could have shot him all day, and he'd be like, why are you shooting me? Then Armadillo gets up because no one was watching him. He fights, and then Groot and the little kid named London, who he was hanging out with, they defeat Armadillo and talk about how everyone's all angry and mean, but instead we'll all be nice and friendly like superheroes. It was a cute book. There's no denying it. It's a cute book. I mean, it's a thumbs up. Like I said, if I'd gotten it, I'm sure I would have made my kids read it. But all in all, I mean, it's not a book I probably would have bought because, like I say, they kind of screw up the rhyme scheme on the Dr. Seuss, and and it's kind of a pat book, but it's good enough for the likes of me. I give it a thumbs up. There's not enough in it to hate to give it anything less than a thumbs up. Which brings us back to you, Phil.
All right, I guess I will go to Jessica Jones #4. Anybody read that? No.
Nope.
All right. So it starts off with Luke on the street. Then Misty Knight comes up. She shows Luke on her phone that there's a picture of him smashing Jessica's car on the internet. Everyone's seen it, so it says Cage Rage. And Misty's basically telling Luke, you had to expect this from Jessica. She's how does she put it? She says, you should have seen us coming. She's broken. She always was, and yada yada. And then
except only since the series came out.
Yeah.
It's like up until this moment, it's like, yeah, she was broken in the first book, and then she like completely got put to the side, and then was just the mom of the Avengers, and now she's back, and now the series came out, they broke her again. Which I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, but Charlie, they reveal the whole thing why Jessica was in prison and everything.
And why was that?
She kind of went undercover for Carol Danvers because she figured, I don't know how, that this secret organization would make contact with her if they thought she had, she was completely, out with all the heroes and everything. But that's when Jessica tells her that it was Allison Green, the one Carol interrogated during Civil War. So Jessica's like, you know her? She's like, oh, you basically created this problem. And then she's telling Carol she took a case. And Carol said, oh, that's good. If they're watching, they'll think everything's normal. But Jessica goes down to the police station to talk to that detective. And the detective says the husband's, the one they think murdered the wife, he's there. And he's asking to see Jessica, but the detective's also asking her. He's seen the picture of Luke online, and he says, do you need help? And Jessica's like, no. I guess he thinks she's a battered wife now. He's like, just because you have powers doesn't mean, something like this couldn't happen to you. She kept telling him, like, no, I'm fine. But yeah, I mean, this was a good one. I gave it a thumbs up, but I don't know. I think more to your point, it's like I think they're trying to like force her into more of that into the TV Jessica Jones, what came before.
Yeah. Now, of course, they could make that all make sense if this is all Franklin's doing.
Yeah, you and your Franklin Richards.
Man, the kid's menace. That's why he likes Spider-Man so much. They're both menaces.
Thank you, J. Jonah. Thank you, J. Jonah Esser.
I just realized we did this out of order. It was after Lilith, you're supposed to do, and then I do, and so we'll do that now. So Lilith, and then you, and then me, and then you, and then Lilith, and we should be caught up by then, or somewhere along those lines.
Okay.
So it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason why you guys aren't reading Inhumans versus X-Men?
Too many books.
Yeah,
okay.
That was the.
That's the only reason to me, because it's like a big supposedly event storyline, but I feel like we all know the outcome of what this is gonna be. Just throwing that out there. But the reason why I decided to go ahead and do it because I liked the first issue, and of course Jeff Lemire. So I'll give that man a chance on anything. But ultimately, I just have to say that, I mean, in an age where I feel like we're all kind of like crossover fatigue and hero versus hero fatigue, and all the mistreatment of X-Men fatigue, it was satisfying to see the X-Men actually get the upper hand seemingly in this issue. So that was nice. But I have to say that it doesn't match the first issue's like pacing and plotting. So I was a little disappointed with it, and like I said, ultimately we all know where this is headed, so it's a thumbs down for me. Like it felt forced on us. Like this event felt forced on us. Because
really?
of certain things.
Forced on us?
Yeah, let's be honest.
No, they're all forced on us, Lilith.
Well,
there's not
some
one of them
for good reasons. This is just for spite. Let's just Inhumans versus X-Men. This is all out of spite because somebody won't give up rights to something.
No, well, I mean, yeah, I guess so. Although, honestly, yeah, I mean, just the whole idea that the mutants are mad at the Inhumans, it's very hard to, and we've mentioned this. It doesn't make any sense because it's not like the Inhumans like intended for the Terrigen Cloud to be out there. It's like and I can get them like not wanting to go to each other's picnics, but like the actual active hatred towards one another is kind of weird.
It's all writers taking it out. Putting it out there, breaking the fourth wall. That's how I see it. And sometimes it works, and this time it just didn't.
Yeah.
Poor X-Men. Somebody get them away from Somebody save the X-Men, please.
Nope. Ryan Reynolds says that they get to hold on to the X-Men forever now.
Fine with me.
That's good. Because Ryan Reynolds like made it profitable again. And Logan's going to do well, too. You watch.
Hopefully. All right, so me again?
Yep, it's all you, man.
All right, because you're the number man. All right, I guess I'll do Power Man and Iron Fist number 12. This one, it's like a lot of fighting in this one because it's Alex Wilder from Runaways. He's basically trying to take over Harlem, I guess. He's working with Black Mariah. They attempt to kill Tombstone. They tell the Black Cat, get out of the way, get out of town. Or you're dead. You're dead. It's a good issue. It's been good, but I don't know. This art still wasn't. I don't know. Still wasn't my favorite. A little too anime for my taste.
There's a lot of that going around right now at Marvel. I don't know why.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're trying to get some variety going, but
or appealing to a bigger audience.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. It's just not my cup of tea. But it's good. Like I said, a lot of like fighting, blowing up buildings, trying to kill people. But at the end, Luke and Danny have to get all these ex-criminals they've been working with, and they said they're like, "Welcome to Heroes for Hire." So got all these. We thrown some ex-criminals at some current criminals. But you could tell, like, once again, they're going for the Luke Cage story because, Mariah's in here and I believe her cousin's in here too. They're definitely
Cornell?
going for. Yeah, they're definitely going for that Netflix vibe. And did everyone see they're coming out with a Defenders book?
Yeah.
With the four of them.
That was so obvious, though.
Oh yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
At the end of the Civil War, they had a picture of them. Like, yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
No, but this was good. I'll give it a thumbs up. Okay. It's by our friend David Walker.
Oh, I do like David Walker. Mm-hmm. In fact, he's got my pick of the week. Love that book, man. Okay, so that'll bring me to Great Lakes Avengers. Number 4. Where basically we open up. Good Boy and Big Bertha have taken Councilman Snurd prisoner because, of course, Councilman Snurd is also Nain Rouge. Pardon me. Which I really loved, and I didn't get the chance to look this up whether or not Nain Rouge was actually a character back in the 80s or not, or the 70s or at some point. But they actually go to this old, this old newsprint style comic strip of him as Nain Rouge, Devil's Night, Detroit years ago. The Red Dwarf is a actual urban legend in Detroit. He's that basically people see the Red Dwarf before any great tragedy happens in Detroit. And we see that he put on an outfit to try and be a superhero, but, the local papers called him a cut-rate daredevil. And, and where were the real heroes when Detroit was suffering, off chasing some cosmic artifact or another. And he makes the point that Detroit didn't need someone to dress up in tights and fight. They needed someone to try and change things. But the way he opts to change things is to basically run people out of town, burn down the depressed parts of the city, and tear it down. One thing I'm going to say that's a little weird in this whole thing is that there's a lot of white people in Detroit in this book. And, that's not Detroit.
It's the suburbs. You sure it wasn't like Bloomfield Hills or something?
No, this is all supposed to be taking place in Detroit. Detroit proper. This ain't, this is, and this is actually even those scenes that are taken. I mean, I'm not to say there aren't white people in Detroit. There are a lot of white people in Detroit. But it's just, everyone in this scene, and maybe that's even meant to be a commentary on a city in old 80s comic books, everyone was white. Or maybe they were just trying to avoid the problems of having blight be associated with African Americans. But either way, it is a little weird the way they present everybody here. Anyway, so moving right along, Snurd, he's been burning down the city with the help of his supervillains and rebuilding stuff. And Good Boy basically is threatening to kill Nain Rouge. We cut to a nice bit here where basically Flatman is trying to keep order because, of course, Mr. Immortal and Big Bertha are fighting again. And then we cut to Connie Ferrari, who's in her limo being driven there, trying to find a single superhero in Detroit. And the closest she can find is Brontosaurus Russ, guy in a Brontosaurus costume. Connie Ferrari used to date Captain America. She's still not over him. And this is when we get our little Gambit cameo because she tells her assistant Amy, "Don't date superheroes; they ruin you for all other men." And then you see that she's texting Gambit on her phone. Meanwhile, Connie shows up. They've got an injunction against them. He references this previous court case with X Factor that they can get overruling on, and then they come to find that Good Boy is covered in blood, and Nain Rouge, Councilman Snurd, is beaten up in the back. So they roll him up in a carpet and toss him at the feet of toss him out of the hospital with his mask on him, and it says, and a note that says, "I'm a criminal, to be continued." Thumbs up. It's set in my hometown. Despite the despite the whitewashing of Detroit in it, I'm still enjoying it. Big thumbs up, I like Great Lakes Avengers, and I will continue to like them until they move out of Detroit. If they move back to Milwaukee, I'll hate them again.
Oh.
Okay, Phil, what's your next book on your own?
All right, I guess I'll go to Spider-Man number 12. As Lilith just saw, that's
kissy.
Well, it starts out the first page. Miles Morales is kissing Spider-Gwen.
What's he doing in this?
Well, no. Well, then they back up and they show that most of this issue it's Miles talking. He's recounting stuff to his roommates, the Gank and Fabio, aka Gold Balls, and so he's telling him how it started. Remember last issue, Miles got a call from his mom saying his dad was missing, so he's trying to figure out what he can do. He's like, because I think Gank's like, can you go to S.H.I.E.L.D.? He's like, yeah, right. After the last Civil War, I can't, when I was on Tony Stark's side, I can't just walk up to S.H.I.E.L.D. and say, hey, help me find my dad. So he was trying to figure out what to do, but that's when Maria Hill shows up. Isn't she about to lose her job? But, okay, Charlie, here's the interesting part. Maria basically tells him that they can't find his dad anywhere on Earth. So don't ask me why, but they kind of know that he's on an alternate Earth. And
wait, what?
Yeah, don't they never explain how or why, but yeah, they kind of tracked him to an alternate Earth, and she hands him like this watch-looking thing or band that goes on someone's arm, and she says, this thing will let you travel between dimensions. And Mal says, I know the watch. And Gang's like, how do you know it? And Mal doesn't answer him, because I think I saw an article on this. I think they're hinting around that Miles remembers that he's not from the 616.
Well, yes, Bendis. Cool. Yeah. Well, Bendis said he remembers.
Yeah.
But exactly how he remembers and what he remembers is still up in the air. Mm-hmm. Because we know that when he was
Charlie, go with the flow.
Yes. Well, CBR had a whole thing on how that contradicted what happened in Gwenpool. So.
So yeah.
But maybe his memories are coming back.
Mm-hmm. But basically, Miles jumps through the portal. He's on this other Earth. And as he said he's gonna start looking for stuff that's familiar, places his dad might go. But then he sees what looks like a street gang cornering an older black woman, but it turns out she's this Earth's ringer. Yikes. She has like a belt buckle that shoots her rings out. It's very weird. She opens her fur coat.
So she's like the Golden Age ringer is basically what you're saying.
I guess. But so Miles is fighting her and basically just knocks some stuff over on her. But then you find out what Earth this is on, Charlie, because Miles runs into Spider-Gwen. And if someone wants to tell me how this story ends, it's continued into Spider-Gwen 16, so.
Of course it is.
That's how they get you. Because he doesn't like to read the extra book in the series, so you're going to say, oh, yeah?
For that book nobody wanted. Phil and I were actually talking about the origin of Spider-Gwen, about like who wanted that book.
Oh, it was you know what? It seems like every so often people like come, and this is like the weirdest thing at Marvel. Apparently, if you go to a big convention and you draw a picture of a cool idea and you show it to somebody, they will basically say, "Oh, that's cool. Let me show that to some other people," and they'll say, "Okay, we're gonna use this concept."
I know the story behind it. It's messed up.
That's how we got Marvel Apes.
And then someone at Marvel has to have the hots for Gwen Stacy,
yeah, everyone has the hots for Gwen Stacy. I don't know why.
She's the Felicity of this universe.
How dare you?
She is just so not who Peter Parker should have wound up with. That's all I got to say.
Who, Gwen?
Yeah.
Fell off the bridge.
Anyway, Lilith, do you want to do Ms. Marvel or Unbeatable Squirrel Girl next? Or do you have you don't have another one on your own, right?
No, I don't. Can we sing Happy Birthday to the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl? Because it was like 20... Technically, I don't know how they're counting this time, to be honest, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
But I thought it was a good issue. 2 stories, cool Easter eggs, great artwork.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the what do you think about the interstitials at the bottom?
I'm not a fan of that, but
Yeah, you know, it's
I guess for
cute for
people who
me.
need it.
Yeah, I mean it's his thing and it's fun. It's just I wish they would do it in another color other than like light brown because it's very hard to read at my age.
It's supposed
And
to look like pencil markings, smudged pencil
yeah,
markings, or something to that effect, I guess.
I don't know. It's like they usually just put them in a nice big bold box at the bottom of each panel, and that was fun. Um, yeah, and yeah, we get the super secret origin of Squirrel Girl, which is that one day she was born with a tail, and then we get an entire weird out of continuity thing with the Red Skull.
Yeah. But it was cool to see like her age progression or whatever. But then like I got confused because I was like that thing with what was it? At her birthday party and you see the Iron Man Spidey mask and I'm just like 616 is 10 years old. Am I that old? I know I just turned 30, but really?
Well, the official rule on time is that it's all that the entirety of the universe existed in like the last 20 years.
I know, it's just
10 to 20 years, somewhere in that period, I like to say that the Fantastic Four always went up in space 25 years ago, but that goes back and forth too. Yeah. And of course, the thing about Iron Man and Spider-Man, Iron Man, of course, was licensing all of his products,
He's the Barry Allen of this universe, yeah.
Yeah. You gotta get those right. You gotta pay for those armors somehow. And as to Spider-Man, he's just a public figure, so people just constantly making knockoff Spider-Man stuff. So,
that was a cute way to say happy birthday to the character. She's an odd duck, or should I say an odd squirrel in the universe, and that's why I'm really drawn to her. And I think they made her really, really relatable. And I think if I wanted to introduce somebody to Squirrel Girl, this would be the book I would give them. And I will say, Squirrel Girl is best read in trade. That's how I do it. I can't do it on the week to week.
Yeah. I liked it too. Thumbs up for it. Squirrel Girl actually made when I did the Kevin Long show yesterday. Made my 6-person team. She was actually like the final pick because what I love about Squirrel Girl, she's the person that just wants people to stop and talk.
Lilith, I think Charlie Esser surpassed us as doing the most amount of podcasts on the Southgate.
Good. Give him the crown when he comes tomorrow. Good.
Charlie's king.
That was just a guest spot. That's not like a permanent gig. I just,
I know.
Just wait.
But I did 5 podcasts. That doesn't seem like a lot. You guys seem like you're doing 6 podcasts a day. I don't know.
Feels like it.
Okay.
Definitely a
So
thumbs
what's
up.
your
I'm so happy.
Yes.
I guess I'll do Daredevil 15. Remember last issue, Charlie, Blind Spot had his eyes gouged out by the villain?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that was... Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, remember we were talking about Miracle Cure, but I guess the doctor's telling Matt that, his eyes are gone, but the nerve endings are still there, so maybe one day he could get some cybernetic eyes, but they're not there yet. But Matt says to send all the bills to him. And then he goes to the bar with no name, and he gives a bunch of cash to some guy, and he tells him put out a contract. Matt, in disguise, has put a contract out on Daredevil. So I don't know if he's feeling guilty or what he's doing, but...
That sounds like Batman shenanigans.
I know.
Oh, that does sound like Batman shenanigans.
But I don't know if he's up to something, because there's at least twice in this issue he goes into church, and he's about ready to confess, but he really doesn't confess. So I don't know if it's just the guilt over Blind Spot, or if he's up to something. But guess who tries to take the contract first, Charlie?
Please be Bullseye.
Not first.
I'm sorry, who?
The twosome he takes out with his billy club with one throw. The brothers Grimm.
I don't even remember those guys.
In the red and blue costumes with the skull faces.
I'll go along with it, sure.
Okay. But yeah, and then they just show him taking out like Crossfire, and a bunch of other people come after him, and he's like, "It's not working. All I'm getting is Z-listers," and he tells the guy, triple the reward, and basically, and then the guy we saw before, like an older guy, I guess him and his son have bills, so he turns out he's an Inhuman who got his powers, when the cloud hit. And he could take out Daredevil because he wraps him up with these. I guess his powers are like tendrils of light that pop out of his chest. But so he has Daredevil where he wants
them.
The
shopkeeper who just all I do is glow.
I don't know. I don't know if they ever say who he is.
Oh no, he went up as an art installation. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah. No. Yeah, this guy is just some guy who popped up in this issue, but yeah, it's Daredevil where he wants him, but then he lets him go. He says, "What am I thinking? I'm not a killer," but he doesn't get the word killer out of his mouth because someone with a sniper rifle shoots him through the neck. And on the last page, we see who? Bullseye.
Yes! Nailed it.
There we go.
So, yeah,
he's got his own series coming soon.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah, Bullseye, Elektra, and Kingpin are all getting their own series.
Wait, not together, but individually?
Individually.
Yikes. Come on, Marvel. You're killing us.
Bullseye.
Yeah. The only character in that worth reading would be Kingpin, in my opinion. But
yes, we know you like the Kingpin.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's Bullseye has no depth to him, and Elektra. If I wanted to read about someone with red on their ledger who felt they had to make good in the world, I'd read something about Black Widow. It's like we already got 6 of those characters. It's like the new Wasp book. It's like, hey, how about we have another, young teen girl genius book? It's like, oh, okay. I'm already reading 4. Can we have a little more diversity? I mean, I like having a diversity of people, but let's have a diversity of characters too. So let's have someone who isn't a teenage girl genius, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Well, we did have a lot of teenage boy geniuses for a while, so.
Well, we still have some. Amadeus Cho.
No. Yeah, we got a lot of. Well, actually, they were all older male geniuses. There were no teenage male geniuses except for Peter Parker.
I was gonna say we don't count Peter because that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but all the other ones, they were all old, established guys who flew up in rocket ships or jumped out onto bomb ranges. And I'm saying let's get more female geniuses, but they don't all have to be 16.
Well, let's get girls interested in STEM. I believe it was some weird initiative, which is why they're doing it, if I remember right, way back when.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I just, like I said, it's like all the diversity, it's starting to kind of blend together in some ways, I think. I don't know. Where I think you're kind of... And I like the diversity. I want more of it, I want diversity that just doesn't seem like it's the same diversity over and over again.
Yeah, I agree.
If that makes any sense. I'm tired of white women equaling diversity. Although I guess I'm probably even overstating that too, because really, aside from female Thor, there is a color differentiation, and I guess there is gender differentiation. Maybe we just need more gay characters like Tony Ho. There we go. Woman of color who's gay. Of course, actually, I'd like to see more male gay characters because, the whole lesbian default, that's so easy, I don't know. It's like you can never make everybody happy, I guess.
And if you are, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But in general, I'm still buying all the books, so they can't be doing everything wrong. Okay. I guess I'll do Ms. Marvel now?
Sure.
Which is actually still one of my favorite books. Speaking of girl genius books, although I guess at least she's not white.
Damn white people.
Yeah, white people. They suck.
Terrible.
No, they're all right. Don't get me wrong. Happen to be one. So I'm cool with them.
Charlie's like, there's some cool ones like myself.
Well, yeah, I'm one of the good ones. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so we open up in the World of Warcraft simulation, and Which I kind of liked because it's a fun thing. This idea of why a superhero would want to have an action adventure alternate life, and the reason is because in the alternate life, no one actually gets hurt, and that's actually like this. That's like the one. Like she gets all this action adventure in her life, but people get hurt and die all the time, and that kind of sucks. So it's kind of fun to go to a place where you can have that action adventure, but it be unreal. Whereas everyone else goes there too because they can't have a real action adventure, so they have unreal action adventure. Someone who actually does live with that action adventure wants that. We have a nice little scene with her and her sister-in-law because Ms. Marvel is dealing with the fact that this guy sort of suggested that he knew where she lived, so she's worried she's cyberstalking. So she tries to cyberstalk him, but her genius is not in computering apparently, because she has a very hard time tracking down his IP address. She finally tracks it down. She does find him, but finds out that he wasn't even in that battle. And and speaking of cyberstalking, how did you find me? It's like gotta go. So she goes and gets confronted by the villain because she finds out when she goes to the Circle K, not the Circle K, the Circle Q, I believe it is, the closest thing she has to a hideout. She realizes she can't go home, so she goes to the Circle Q, hoping that Bruno was there, but of course the bad guy has already followed her there and is controlling everything. They have a self-driving car, apparently, that tries to run her down. And then he attacks her with a steam shovel, which she disables. And she goes into the Circle Q, and we see this person there basically saying, "Hello, Kamala Khan," from all the different screens, because he knows her secret. Bum, bum, bum.
You
thumbs up.
Over the best part of this issue. She's playing WoW.
No, I didn't. I started that off. I did like 5 minutes.
How awesome is that? Like, she's a geek like us. She's so relatable.
Well, she's been playing World of Warcraft since since the very beginning,
But they threw in somebody loves WoW because it was I used to play WoW, so it was a bunch of inside jokes. I'm like, wow. Did they get paid to do this or not?
I never played World of Warcraft, so I was more fascinated in the psychological aspect of her needing an escape from real adventure into fake adventure. Whereas most people need to escape from non-adventure into fake adventure. She needs to go into fake adventure from real adventure because in fake adventure, no one gets hurt.
Oh, scold!
I just took this as since this is like a teenage girl, I took this as internet privacy PSA. I didn't try to dig that deep.
Yeah, you always got to. And this is Marvel. This is Marvel, Lilith. This isn't all on the surface like the DC. There are levels.
Are you sure?
It's here in Marvel Comics.
Okay, if you say so. There's a lot of super fluff around Marvel, but okay, I'll take your word for it.
Man, it's getting uncomfortable.
We tease because we love.
Okay, Phil, what do you got next?
So 2 thumbs up from you too?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
The art was the best thing about it for me.
Alright. Lilith, you said you didn't read Deadpool 24?
That was good.
I did, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it.
I told you earlier, they've lost something in translation with Deadpool this time around, but I still enjoy the book.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think maybe it's because there's not as much humor and it's like kind of...
And they're doing like a formula every single time, hitting that same beat, that same horse.
And some of the Madcap stuff is just dark, like,
Well, I like that part, of course.
Oh, hey, Charlie, guess who Madcap was hiding in?
His daughter?
No, Hydra Bob.
Oh, Hydra Bob. Oh, nice to see him getting work. Of course, Deadpool always treated him horribly. But, of course, he is a member of Hydra. So, you know what? Maybe he kind of deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, although Madcap eventually jumps off him and disappears in an explosion. So, of course, he won't be back.
Not at all. And it's not like Hydra Bob was even part of the good Hydra like Cap, you know.
I know. But yeah, this kind of wraps up that arc. 'Cause like I said, Madcap kind of disappears in an explosion. They cured Deadpool's daughter and Agent Preston's family.
Yeah, it's a happy ending. As happy as we're
Well,
gonna get.
it's happy except for Deadpool now owes Strafe a favor.
Well, there's no such thing as a free lunch, though.
Yeah, because Charlie Strafe tells Deadpool, says, "I helped you save 4 lives. One day you're gonna take 4 lives for me." Dun, dun,
really?
Dun.
Yeah. Although anytime like you owe me a favor, it's like no, I don't. It's like really, what's your enforcement mechanism for that favor? I mean, really.
Time travel.
Well, what I find my favorite thing about Deadpool is that the violence is like engaging but shocking at the same time. Like they managed to balance that out. It's not just for the sake of it. It actually has a point a lot of the time. So that's what I love about Deadpool.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, and it's not like Deadpool minds killing people. It's like, ooh, I have to kill 4 whole people. Oh goodness,
But on his own terms, not somebody forcing him to.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, I'm sure he's killed people that weren't the nicest, weren't the worst people in the world before, and and it's like, unless he says, I want you to kill Cable, and it's like, well, no, I'm not going to kill Cable, because first of all, just tell Cable you want me to kill you, then we'll both come and kill you. I mean, it's because Cable can do that time travel-y thing too. I mean, really, it's.
Well, they also did that turnabout too with the Deadpool not being Wade. They did the same thing, so I was just like, okay, it's kind of too soon to be rehashing that, but I guess I hope it has a point. Do you think it has a point?
Yes.
Yeah, I think like I said, I just worry that they're making it too dark sometimes and not balancing that humor. You need that Deadpool humor. But this one was a thumbs up for me.
Of course, it's a thumbs up for me.
That's Deadpool, of course.
Well, it hasn't always been, of course, but
yeah,
these last 6 issues, they really found their footing for me.
Cool. Okay, and so that brings us to the last 4 books. Yes.
No.
Oh, okay. What do you got else to fill?
Spider-Man Deadpool 13. I believe you read that also, Lola.
I left that alone.
What?
I left that alone.
Oh, you didn't read it?
No, see, I knew she didn't read that. You did listen, Phil, when she was going through her books.
She didn't finish it, she said.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
I fell asleep on the plane.
But you didn't have it on her list. So, okay.
Basically, like, they're back to the main story after a couple fill-in issues, but I don't know. I mean, what's going on here? Like, Spider-Man's getting all, like, violent, and are they, like, swapping minds or something, or...
Yeah, pretty obviously, Phil. That's been like the running gag since they first did since Deadpool got his skin fixed, but they didn't give him his mustache because reasons.
Well, that was he had the mustache in the during Secret War. That was in the 80s.
No, he also had the mustache when he went to Pleasant Hill.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the mustache got established.
I forgot the Tom Selleck, yeah.
Okay, but what about Itsy Bitsy? Like, what's the deal?
He's basically, I guess they took DNA from Spider-Man and Deadpool and combined them.
That's it? That's the mystery?
Yeah, there's no mystery. It's that Patient Zero who created Itsy Bitsy. Supposedly he has some connection to both their past, but I'm like, who the hell has a connection to Peter Parker and Wade Wilson's past?
They're both brothers now. It's their secret dad.
I don't know. We're saying maybe it's Weasel, because... Remember that issue with Deadpool back in the 90s where he time traveled?
I like that.
And when Weasel was going to Empire State University with Peter Parker.
That was my theory.
Yes.
Yeah. Makes as much sense as anything.
But yeah, because they're hiding out this isn't this. Oh, Charlie, they were remember a couple issues back they tried to blow up Itsy Bitsy and they were like in the explosion? They got out because Deadpool had some kind of mystical artifact. I don't know if he stole from Doctor Strange or something, but he basically transported them to Weird World.
Oh, good old Weird World.
I
think that was the Eye of MacGuffins that he used.
Yeah, because Spider-Man's like, where are we? And he says, here, I'll show you. And Deadpool's like sticking his head out of it, turning in his pocket. So I don't. But yeah, I mean, Spider-Man was ready to go medieval on some of these creatures, and Deadpool's like, "What are you doing?" But yeah, some weird stuff. But I mean, it's a thumbs up for me. Lilith, you went to the side.
I mean, it was to the side. The part that I got to that just had me cracking up before I went to sleep was I haven't pulled that much metal out of someone since I lifted old Granny's Wilson's gold fillings to buy my first gun. I'm like, yes, that's the Deadpool I know and love. Yes. But everything else is just kind of confusing, and I'm just like, it feels like a rehash of something that I've read back in the 90s. So that's why it's
90s nostalgia is big.
I know, I'm a 90s kid, and it's getting on my nerve, though.
Okay, so now that was the last book anyone read just by themselves, right? Or mostly by them.
Yeah, well, I think
how many more books did you have, Bill?
Well, I have
he bought the whole store, apparently.
I have those 4 we have in common, Charlie. The only one you didn't read is Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows #3, and Lilith read that.
So good. Why aren't you reading this? Charlie! You're gonna have to. I'm
not reading it because first, if I want a Spider Girl, there's only one Spider Girl, and that is Mayday Parker. I don't know who this Annie person is, but she should go get her dog Sandy and get back to living with Lex. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
That's my opinion on that subject. It's like, oh, we want to explore the Mary Jane and Peter Parker marriage. Well, you have a whole other universe where you've established that existence.
Yeah, but
why don't you go look at that? Yeah. Well, I mean, the MC3 universe was the one universe spared from Secret Wars. That was the one universe that got separated out from the rest of the universes by Otto Octavius when he cut up the Web of Destiny.
Yeah.
And so it became its own thing. At least that's my fan theory. Anyway, so Lilith, why don't you tell us about Renew Your Vows, since apparently you read that.
You know what? I like Annie. I do. I'm sorry. I've never been a fan of May. Sorry. I just haven't.
No, I've got nothing personal against Annie. I just, as to why I don't read it, because honestly, I don't really read Spider-Man. I only read Spider-Man. I only started reading Spider-Man when it was Otto. Because Otto was a great Spider-Man. And May was a pretty cool Spider-Man too, in my opinion. Or Spider-Woman. But Peter I find to be a very annoying character.
He can be at times. I don't know. I found Annie very relatable. I love the part about the dinosaur, seeing a living dinosaur. That was really cool. It's just, I don't know. It's just something sweet about it. And I haven't really read something endearing in a Spider-Man book in a long time, just to be honest. I think that's why this particular miniseries or whatever they're going to turn it into has scratched an itch that I didn't know was itching.
And I like the Peter in this book better than the regular book, because he's not a douche like that.
Everything's just it's kind of like a Disney-fied version almost, if you will. It's very sweet and watered down.
Well, Peter is a grown-up in this book, so I might actually really enjoy this book if I were to read it.
Yes.
Because
it has that family dynamic that you liked in Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want to know about Osborn Regent, though. We need to get to that ASAP.
Oh, yeah, little Normie Osborn. But,
yes.
Charlie, Annie's spider sense is more powerful than Peter's, because she could actually see her parents in trouble.
Oh,
okay.
Cool.
That's
she's a future Madam Web, perhaps.
Oops. Or just an evolution of the spider sense.
It gets stronger with each generation, eh?
Yes, Canadian. Look at her scraps.
I'm practicing. You darn tootin'.
Yeah. Gotta work on your French.
A lot of this was a retread of it was still good, but it was it was the same as last issue, but from Annie's point of view.
Yeah, they've been doing that with all 3. That is the one thing. It does give you a bit of deja vu, but maybe that's the point.
Yeah. But I like it.
Has anyone thumbs up? I'm sorry.
2 thumbs up.
Has anyone had a pick of the week yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Are we gonna have all three have the same pick of the week?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably where we're going. Okay.
Probably.
Because there's one book all three of us read. We'll save that one for last.
Okay.
You didn't read Thor or Cap, right, White Lilith?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Charlie, and you read Avengers, right, Charlie?
Yeah, I read Uncanny Avengers and Captain America and Mighty Thor. So Phil, why don't you read? What book do you want to read?
I don't know. I'll take Uncanny Avengers 19.
Okay. Yay.
Lilith, Deadpool's in here too.
Oh, too bad.
She might not. This is actually the more serious and responsible Deadpool.
Oh yeah, pass.
I like because he's the more grown up Deadpool.
I love how he's just like, why does everyone let me go to voicemail?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's being tracked by Quicksilver, who's controlled by the Red Skull who has Xavier's brain. Okay, Charlie, let's ask Lilith. What do you think about the Red Skull having now he has telepathy because he has Charles Xavier's brain in his head?
Who wrote this?
His head.
Because I'm gonna write a letter. Oh, isn't it? I mean, that's weird. It seems weird and kind of off the wall to me.
Well, that's what Charlie always says. Like, how does that work? You just put that, the actual physical gray matter in his head, and all of a sudden he has his mutant power.
My theory is that he's got it in a jar somewhere, and he's controlling it via Wi-Fi.
Well, and it is kind of possible right now with the technology we have a little bit, so maybe. I don't know.
Well,
it just seems weird.
The technology makes no sense because it was like a 6-day-old decaying brain that he stole. It's hard to think that anything in that was at all usable for psychic powers, But
wasn't Charles the most strongest telepath to ever exist or whatever? So we just have to take that beat, I guess.
Well, I mean that's essentially the idea, Yeah, it's strange. It makes no sense, but they're running with it. I think it is. It's one of these things where someone said, it's a comic book. Please do not make us explain why we're doing this. But if you're going to do something that's blatantly wrong, you have to explain it. That's the thing. It's if you're going to say, it can't be just hand waving. You got to say this is what we're dealing with. And if nothing, and honestly, I'd accept literally anything as their explanation that they cloned Xavier's brain and rewrote the Skull's memories on it. It's okay, that makes sense.
You won't take anything. They gave you a story. They took the actual brain and stuck it in his head.
Then why is it not the Red Skull's memory? How it's then why isn't Charles Xavier's thanks for the body?
Well, what is the importance of Red Skull to the story? Why did they choose him as the villain? I guess, and then maybe peel it back from there. I've never really cared for Red Skull. I don't get it.
And also, there's an interesting point about this Red Skull, which is that he's actually an old data tape of the Red Skull from the 1940s.
Yeah, he's an older clone.
So he's a clone.
Yeah,
he's a clone of the original. So the previous Red Skull was actually in a Steve Rogers clone body. This is actually an original Johann Schmidt clone body with the old 1940s memory tape stuck into him.
Oh,
because it was an old. It was essentially the way that they did the Hate Mongers. Where they basically had the old memory tape that Artem Zola made and the clone. The clone thing, and so that's your last ditch backup when the body dies, they just turn on the old clone, and maybe that has something to do with it. That's why he can do all this stuff because he's some kind of 1940s clone that, unlike those shoddy clones that the what's his name, the Jackal makes, these are actually good 1940s German engineered clones. They're built to last. I don't know. Can we get to the actual story of this episode?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. The Deadpool's being chased by Quicksilver's being controlled by the Skull, of course, and of course the Skull has all the rest of the Avengers, so he's basically in their minds, breaking them down. Synapse, Doctor Voodoo, the Wasp, and the Human Torch. That one was pretty weird, huh, Charlie? I guess he playing on his fears of burning the rest of the Fantastic Four alive.
Yeah. I mean that's a pretty typical, a typical Human Torch fear. I mean, I've seen that play out before. Interesting that they have Val and Franklin there. Because everyone's in like their old '60s outfits. Even Sue has the '60s hair.
But then the Skull uses his stolen telepathy to overpower Cable.
Yeah, he's not having that.
Yeah, but you know where they're going with that. The whole lifeboat thing. He told his AI to erase itself, and they said the lifeboat protocol. Because the Skull thinks Cable erased his mind, but of course it's in that arm. He pulled an auto, Charlie.
Although of course. Yeah, but you notice what else about this scene? He puts the knife in the Skull's head.
Yes.
And are we to take it that that's actually the Skull's head?
I think that's all. I think that's in their heads. I think that's in the mental plane. Don't you think?
Okay, possibly. I don't know. They sort of jump between these. Yeah, and then when they get to him, he's actually all still chained up. So yeah, so that must have been on the mental plane. But yeah.
But yeah, so then the Skull says he's going to use the team to take out anyone else who's ever been an Avenger.
Yeah.
But of course, at the end, Deadpool goes to Doctor Strange for help, but Doctor Strange isn't home. Only Wong is.
Yep.
But Spider-Man also got the call, so guessing it's Deadpool, Spider-Man, and Wong to the rescue.
Yeah, as well as possibly Power Pack, Morbius, and Man-Thing.
I know, I love that. When Spider-Man's like, got your message. Who else did you call? Wade, Power Pack, Morbius? Is Man-Thing coming? But he's still not joining the team.
Yeah. Although I love that Wong has like, an AK-47 handy,
Well, hey, man, magic isn't what it used to be in the Marvel Universe, so...
Yeah, well, he's got an AK-47 and an umbrella, and so there's something crazy in that umbrella. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
This is actually the umbrella of Wendigore, and yeah, you watch, man. Crazy stuff is gonna happen. Also, was shocked to find out that like Nathan Summers has like 4 names. He's like Nathan Christopher Charles Summers. And why does Charles get like 3rd billing after Christopher?
Well, Christopher was Cyclops' father. I can't remember where they got Nathan.
Nerd out. Let's do it. Do the homework.
Yeah. Oh, he's named Nathan because Rachel Summers dated Franklin, and that's his grandfather. So. It's alternate universe naming.
Oh, Nathaniel,
right?
Yeah,
Nathaniel. Okay, so let's go to the Trial of Maria Hill. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay. So we get a nice little flashback to Steve Rogers. He's struggling, but all the Nazis still love him because he's the smartest one there is. Meanwhile, Maria Hill is having her scientists go through what they call the red file, which is all the crazy, stupid ideas, that could never possibly work, but, let's put them up there anyway. We see Cap and Union Jack fighting some Darkhold cultists because that was just on TV. And he confronts the demon that's in the cave. Flashback to Helmet and Steve trying not to get an infection. Then we go to the trial of Maria Hill, where we see that they had all these great expert witnesses, but then Maria brought in like actual people who she had helped and whose lives she had saved, and of course even brought in Slide, who is a supervillain with a frictionless costume. I never understand why they just let supervillains just keep their costumes. But like his, like when he actually was in Pleasant Hill, he actually had a decent life, and he kind of wanted to stay being decent when he came back. We get Cap testifying against Maria Hill, and you see him sort of hinting, let's make Sharon Carter in charge because she's awesome and stuff.
See, Secret Empire's coming. Cap's going to take over. You know Steve Rogers is taking over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like my big question in all of this, because, of course, what we get in the final scene is Maria Hill, she's going to build a wall.
Don't know Earth, yeah.
Yeah, don't know who's going to pay for it, but she's going to build that dang wall.
Make the aliens pay for it.
I was going to say, the Shi'ar and the Kree, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, it is going to be huge. For what it's worth, I mean, she's pretty upfront that, no, we're all going to pay for it. But, so, you know, she's at least a little more honest than Donald Trump. But, yeah, she is going to build a big, beautiful wall around the Earth. Then we find out that basically, what's interesting here is that, and this is why I wonder if this is Steve's thing all along, is he's got the swing member totally at his mercy, but Cap lets the Darkhold cultists kill him, suggesting that Cap wants Maria Hill in charge. Wants Maria Hill to build her big, beautiful wall, or to have it all go bust. And, you know, as we're going into Secret Empire, it does raise that basic question of, what is Steve's plan here? Because it does seem like Steve is building something, and he is like 4 steps ahead of everyone. Now, as I've said, Steve is actually the smartest man in the world, even though they never mention it until just recently. Because, of course, he is supposed to have peak human intelligence as well as having that peak physical ability. And so I think he's sitting there thinking, you know, yes, I'm going to sabotage Maria Hill's court-martial so she can just get herself in deeper. So that when I take over with my Secret Empire, which is going to have all the superheroes being right by my side because I'm still Captain freaking America, it will be all the more powerful. And then we get flashback where we get that Steve is being sent back to America to join Project Rebirth. Bum, bum, bum. Next issue. More Hydra Cap. Thumbs up for me. I mean, you know. Oh, yeah. Maria Hill is Donald Trump. You gotta love it.
But they still didn't say if she keeping her job or not. Well, I guess she will, but they never came out and said it.
Well, that's the point of it. Is, yeah, she keeps her job because the swing vote that was beholden to Cap gets killed. And they actually say that, you know, that his big concern was alien infiltration. So we still have enough votes for a quorum, and this tribunal is simply too important to be placed on hold. So Director Hill, with that in mind, after some deliberation, this council has reached a decision. Okay, so they cut it out to that. But it's strongly implied by that, I think, that because they say Minister Dalton, his death is a reminder to us all that the fight against extremist terror must always remain vigilant. So basically, he's using that hard Brexit language there, which I think is meant to imply that Maria wins the day. But I guess we have to wait till next episode to find out. Okay.
Gotta leave it with a cliffhanger.
I gotta leave it with something. Okay, and that brings us to... thumbs up for me. Thumbs up for you, Phil?
Yes.
Okay. And now War of the Realms gets a whole... now moves to 2 fronts.
Yeah, so... the Shi'ar invade Asgard. Looking.
Which, okay, quick question on this, real quick. Is the Shi'ar Empire technically considered Midgard? Because, like, the plane of Midgard includes the Shi'ar Empire. So are they would they be considered being from Midgard?
You would think. In the way that they're just an alien empire. They're not like from another plane of existence.
Exactly. They're from that Midgard realm. So it's like they... That's got to be weird. I don't know. It's one of these things they don't quite deal with because like Asgard's like literally like not even a planet, just a floating city in nothingness. And then you have all the other realms like Svartalheim and Niflheim, which all seem to be like these kind of weird little infinite like bubble universes. And then you have the plane of Midgard, which is an expansive eternity. So it's a little weird there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find out that apparently Heimdall has to blink.
Well, yeah, they have to sneak up somehow.
Yeah, well, because you've got Gladiator or Superman pastiche. You can tell because his underwear's on the outside.
Yeah, and he keeps that mohawk up.
Well, he was from the 80s, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we even get his son, Kid Gladiator.
Wow.
Yeah, Kid Gladiator. He's even got sunglasses on, like that old Superboy.
Oh, the worst Superboy.
He was the best Superboy.
Superboy sucks. First of all, no matter what iteration, unless it's Young Justice.
That's a DC fan right there.
Yeah, he ruins everything.
Jonathan Kent is awesome.
Okay.
She's talking the old.
Yeah, old Superboy.
Yeah. I just like old Superboy because he became Spider Boy in the Amalgam universe. And I liked Spider Boy.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Am I reviewing this or are you reviewing it, Phil?
I'll review it, but we see Odin's brother. That's his brother, right?
Yeah, that's Cole, his brother.
Cole, yeah, has a problem with Jane and wants her out.
Yep.
And that
she's missed too many days of Congress.
Yep. He's like, I don't care about your illness. Way to be supportive.
Well, he makes a point, and they've actually said, we could probably cure cancer tomorrow if you want with like Asgardian science and stuff. She's like, no, none of your crazy voodoo. It's like, no, it's actually just Asgardian science. They say there is a cost to it, but still,
She doesn't want their vaccinations, Charlie.
Yeah. Anyway.
So anyway, the Shi'ar attack, and of course, so the Asgardians are fighting the Shi'ar until the Shi'ar find what they're looking for and transport out Charlie. And I was gonna say, what? Who were they looking for, Charlie?
Lady Thor. That's the
right.
worthy.
They wanted Thor.
Although there's an interesting point in here that I wonder if it's going to come back. Because if Jane has to leave the Congress, there's a member of the Shi'ar Empire who is from, the Earth Midgard. Mm-hmm. Which is Smasher.
Oh, yeah.
So she could say Smasher will serve in my stead as a member of the Shi'ar Empire. And that's a great way to achieve the peace between the Shi'ar and the Asgardians. Because now the Shi'ar will have their representation on the council on the Thing of Worlds, and actually, big props to this book. They have Hildegard kicking butt. That's Volstag's wife.
Mm-hmm. But they don't say why the Shi'ar want Thor, but she meets the gods of the Shi'ar.
Yes.
Oh yeah, classic.
That's got to be some M-Cron crystal stuff, doesn't it?
Yes. They are really digging deep. Like,
yeah.
When's the last time we had the Shi'ar in anything? It's been a minute.
No, they were all over the Avengers arc because Smasher was in it. Just in the big lead up to everything, they were all over the place. Yeah, no, the Shi'ar's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, my one weird. Kind of misleading on this is they do have Thor the Unworthy on the cover, and he's not in the book.
Yeah, maybe in the next part.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah,
he's got to get his hammer back.
Or the new hammer.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked the book. It was good.
Thumbs up.
Okay, and I think that brings us all to our pick of the week.
Yep.
Okay.
All three. So it's good, people.
Was this your pick of the week, Fair Lilith?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, occupy the letters page. We got a letters page.
Huh?
Well, it looks like David's actually responding there. So
Respond to Charlie Esser.
You know what? It's annoying. I'm friends with him on Facebook now, so I know he's at the Black Comic Book Festival this weekend, and I won't be able to be there because I'm going to Pittsburgh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh man, you could have done Cage Cast
I gotta do that. I was like, oh man, this would have been my chance to actually go meet him and say, oh yeah, really big fan.
I just have to hang out with Lilith and those white people. Oh.
I'd rather hang out with Lilith. And you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been waiting to meet you for so long, Lilith. Because. So
okay. I love Occupy Avengers because it's basically Red Hood and Outlaws to me.
Oh yeah,
it has that feel. If they were good guys. Okay.
I've been wanting to read that book, and especially now they have Bizarro in it. Although I think it might be conflicting with one of my other DC books. So.
Yeah, it was out this week. So.
Yeah.
You wait for the trade. It's okay.
No, they had put Bizarro right on the cover in the first one, and he wasn't like in it until like the third book. And I'm like, don't be a Bizarro tease. So that's how they ruined me for that book. You know what I love about this book?
What?
This is the Jeremy Renner Hawkeye Netflix series that he so wants to be produced.
Yes.
That would be
good. I can see that.
Yeah. And this was my absolute favorite issue because, of course, this is a Tilda Johnson-centric issue. And I have been madly in love with Tilda Johnson since I first read her profile in the official guidebook to the Marvel Universe. And it wasn't just because she was in a leather bikini. Although that certainly helped. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. She's a very skinny girl. I'm much more into more voluptuous women, but it was her basic backstory in mind that made me go, oh, this is an awesome character. Just reading her there, and then when she showed up in the original Nighthawk series, like, oh, great, Tilda Johnson. Why do we keep on going back to this Nighthawk guy? Why is he the star of this book? Why is this not called Nightshade with special guest appearance by Nighthawk? So that was exciting to me. And also, of course, I love Red Wolf in this because he is basically What If Conan the Barbarian was trapped in the modern age. My favorite What If book.
But yeah, I mean, I could see where you were saying this seems like Red Hood and the Outlaws, but it's that, and you throw in like hard traveling heroes.
Yeah, exactly. Although they are off mission already a little bit, but they'll come back around. It's okay.
What mission? It's like find trouble. Stop it.
Yeah. I like the point about Nighthawk being all serious. Like, what do you mean right wrongs? What does that even mean? He says, and Hawkeye's like, you're a man who dresses like a giant bird and fights crime. That just screams righting wrongs. They're really mean to me.
Oh, sorry. I think Clint's sarcasm, Kyle's serious tone, and then you have Tilda's blunt humor. Like, that's just like the trifecta.
Yeah.
That's why it works so well.
Yes, it does. It is really a fantastic thing. It is just a great. Honestly, this is like the best book yet of the series. Because it started a little choppy, I think. Because anytime you have to go to Hydro Man as your villain, you're saying, okay, we're starting slow.
Well, here we had to get LMDs because that's also on the TV show.
Oh yeah. Although I love what our LMDs wind up being.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering,
do they know they're LMDs?
No.
Well, see, okay, here's the interesting question. Okay, in the Nick Fury, because they did, I forget what series that was. It was like, I think it was when they first came back from the Secret Wars. They had like a series of something. It was like a bunch of one-shots, and they had, or like it was an anthology book of the heroes sort of rebuilding the world. And they had Nick Fury Jr. going after LMD Nick Fury, who was trying to destroy the world. I don't think that's this Nick Fury, although it may wind up being. I'm thinking that's Max Fury.
Ooh.
Max Fury is an LMD of Nick Fury that was given true sentience.
Mm-hmm.
and maybe he found a way to bring out his other howlers, but they're still LMDs, and that's why they needed all the robot parts.
Mm-hmm.
Because they need to rebuild themselves and to expand their army. That's my theory. We're gonna have to see where it is.
To be had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might not be Max Fury. It might be just another group of LMDs that gain sentience. But it's interesting. Like I said, it could just be LMDs that gain sentience, and they just need all the robot parts. Interestingly, we know the Slug recently got access to LMD parts. So all these LMD bits are flooding the market right now. Now, it's possible this could all tie back to Cap's Secret Empire.
Oh, what an army of LMDs.
Or no, it's about... Because the idea behind the Hydra concept is, as it was in the movie, if there's enough chaos, people will, sacrifice freedom to gain security.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's an interesting conflict in that, in what the mythos of Hydra is in the current Kobik universe, which is again moving along something that we saw in something that we've seen in both the Brotherhood of the Shield and also in the TV show. Which is this idea is that Hydra predates the Nazis, and that they are obsessed with this idea of the returning of the old gods from space. So there may be this idea that Steve wants to build an army of heroes to go against something. It's going to be interesting, whatever it is, but this idea that maybe LMD technology is getting out there is something that Cap's doing because he wants to sow that chaos. Or perhaps we're going to find out that it's these LMDs selling lesser LMDs to the Slug so that they can get more parts for their own, maintaining their own cells.
That's true.
I mean, we're gonna have to see. But I would not be surprised if this does not tie back to the Misty Knight issue of Sam Wilson, Captain America, where she had to go up against the Slug who had the LMDs. Would not surprise me. Lots of possibilities. It is, this one. Hey, it is all
super connected.
I was waiting for it.
Well, that's the Marvel Universe right now, man. That's all I'm saying. It is really, and yes, I know we got to plug my show, but are you going to stick around for that, Lilith, or do you have to go somewhere?
I'm sticking around, but I won't be commenting. I'm just going to listen to you two go at it.
Okay, that's fine. Well, if you have a thought, jump in.
Okay.
Okay.
But I just want to end I'm sure this is a thumbs up from all of us because we all picked it as the pick of the week. But yeah. So everyone, go out and buy this book because I'm hoping this is a fluke. But at my store, my guy said this book isn't selling well.
What?
Yeah, I was like, that's what I said.
Well, like I said, honestly, it had that slow start with Hydra as a villain. You're not starting big, and that might have been strategic. Sometimes these they might have said, David, we're going to give you some space to get your slow build. Because unlike DC, where they totally have no coordination in their scheduling, I think Marvel gets really tight scheduling. So they probably just said, okay, here's what's coming out that week. This is your big book has to be issue 3. Your third issue, that's the one that we're going to be. That's where you got to make it shine because that's going to be your issue. Wouldn't surprise me if they don't do that. And say, okay, your issue is this. Make it work by that issue. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I hope that's the case because he certainly made it work here. This is like the best. This is like the best book I've read in so long. This is such a tightly, perfectly structured story of heroes fighting, and the way he captures Clint Barton's voice is just so perfect. It really astounds. Like I say, I mean, if someone needs to get this issue to Jeremy Renner, because I think Jeremy Renner is going to be reading this and is going to get obsessed with this and start pushing this.
We'll have to figure out who to cast in each part.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, yeah. That's. Well, you know, I mean, there's lots of actors out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is that it?
That's all I got, man. That's all the books I got, man. I had 8, 7, and next week I got 8 again or 7 again, and it's like someone's got to get cut, you know. And that's I hate to say it. I think it's. Yeah. Well, I got a big road trip planned this weekend, so, you know, it's like I might not have cash to get these books. And now I can't even, like, you know, put the books on hold but read them digitally like I normally do, because now I don't even know if I'm going to get my books digitally. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on?
Marvel, instead they gave you the code where you could, like, you know, put it in and you'd get a digital copy of the issue you bought.
Yeah.
We thought it was starting February, but it started now with Thor. Now, no matter what book or what code you get, you're only going to get one of 3 books that they put out each month, which is going to be like an older book.
So the Seeds of Chaos.
Yeah. Well, it was only one of our books which was Thor.
Well, so far, I think they're going to all of that in February.
Yeah, well, I think it's like a randomized thing, but, you know, and like for what it was, where there was an interesting book, and I already bought Thor, so it wasn't that bad. But it would be a problem if I'm getting all these books and none of them are what I want, you know. So, you know, I like the idea of getting an extra book with every book I purchase, but I also liked having my digital book. See, what I would rather they do, if they want to do something like that, what they should do is they should give you the book you bought and then maybe say, oh, and here's, like, you know, here's Fantastic Four number 12, you know?
Well, yeah, that's what everyone wanted, to get the digital copy of that issue and it like an extra. But yeah, I don't think they're doing that.
Yeah, because that would be like cool. It's like, oh, here's like some classic, maybe even ties into it, because here's the first appearance of the obscure villain that we just brought in here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you can ask, how did the Ghost lose all that weight, you know? You ever see like the first appearance of the Ghost? He like looks like Moon Knight and he's all buff. And then you see him now emaciated. He you know, it's funny. It's funny because I actually came across that digitally, was like the original appearance of the Ghost, and it's like, wait, this is the Ghost's first appearance, and he looks like Moon Knight. You know, he's like buff and he's crazy.
Hey man, life under Putin.
Yeah. Okay, should we do social media?
Yes, please. If you want to email us about anything you heard tonight, and you did hear a lot, marvelroundup@gmail.com. Facebook is facebook.com/allnewmarvelroundup. Twitter is @marvel_roundup. And our Instagram is marvelroundup. Lilith, as our guest, where can these people who may not have heard you find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter @LilithHellfire, or you can find me on any social media @AdventuresInFG. Please be sure to check out my website, adventuresinfangirling.com.
And of course, you can always... Oh, is that everything? Okay. And of course, you can always write to me in the old-fashioned email way at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And follow me on the Twitters @CharlieEsser. That's CharlieEssser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for quality. And
as always, you could write to me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp. And if you liked Lilith Hellfire on this episode, stay tuned, enough said, because Lilith and I are starting a new show, Wade's World, the Deadpool podcast. It'll be anything and everything Deadpool, and probably some few things that aren't Deadpool, so stay tuned for that. First episode should be coming soon. All right. Is that it, everyone?
That's all of it.
All right. Come back next time. I'm sure there'll be a big ton of books again. And come back and find out who Charlie's going to cut. Good night.